Running back's kind of a devalued position in the NFL, but you still want talent there, and there's some good talent in the upcoming draft, and we're going to go over that today. I'm Steven Gardell, better known as What's Cracklackin'. It's your boy Baroshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. I'm going to give you my top 10 running backs coming in the 2021, there we go, NFL draft. And if you want to see my expanding rankings, the full list, go to Fan to Fan Network. I'll leave a link in the description as well as it's the pinned comment. So go ahead, do that. We got a variety of other videos on the way. It's gonna be a lot of videos this week, so y'all enjoy and indulge. So let's go ahead. Let's get to the list. Number 1, Travis Etienne. Yeah, you knew it was coming. He's my favorite prospect out of this running back class by far. He was actually going to be my number 1 running back prospect if he came out the previous season, this in the 2020 draft. But he didn't. He decided to return, and the guy, he's a home run threat. He's lightning in the bottle. Anytime he touches the ball, he could go the distance. He averaged 4.7 yards after contact, as well as 91 broken tackles on 207 carries. In 2019, he improved dramatically as a receiver, and he's honestly the closest thing to a first-round pick we've seen at running back since probably Saquon Barkley. Hands down, this guy, he is the peak. He is the climax. He is Mount Everest in this running back class. He is that darn good. I love me Travis Etienne. If you want to find a knock on his game, maybe he's a little too bouncy in the backfield or a bit indecisive, but once he makes a decision, he's gone. He's gone. And this is me nitpicking because, you know, you gotta nitpick when you evaluate guys. I got Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. There we go. I like saying Chuba Hubbard. It's like Hubba Bubba. Bubblegum. I don't know. It is what it is. But I got him. I moved him up to 2 on here because I really like his running style. And the guy, he's just a churner. He had more yards after contact last season than a lot of running backs had in total yards. He had like over 1,300 yards after contact. They've used him a little bit in the passing game, more so in 2018 than 2019. But he's got blazing speed, very explosive. The minute he makes a decision, he's a great decision maker too, with good vision. And I kind of question his athleticism, and I'm going to kind of get into it because I really hate Oklahoma State's kind of running scheme. They run this like wide zone RPO, and it just doesn't translate to the NFL. And what they do basically is they don't really run to the outside. Like they don't really, like, that's the big thing in the NFL now, outside zone blocking schemes. They don't really do that. What they do is they create massive holes in the A or B gaps, and in the Big 12, that's all fine and dandy because you're typically seeing 3, maybe 4-man fronts, and that's kind of where Hubbard just explodes. Bam, he's gone. So it's not so much maybe I question his athleticism or overall athleticism, but maybe his lateral athleticism, because we just don't see him pop it to the outside. So I don't really know if, like, I don't really have enough information to say is if that's something he can't do or something he just simply hasn't needed to do there at Oklahoma State. But regardless, very good prospect. Currently got a 2nd-round grade on him. Then I got Journey Brown out of Penn State. This is purely based on upside because the guy has a great combination of size, speed, and power. He's expected to run in the low 4.3s. He probably tear the top off the combine. He excels really on the inside as an inside zone runner. But I would like to, or at least I would have if the Big Ten was going to have a season, see him more involved in the passing game. But again, the immense physical upside. He's probably going to pop off at the combine. He probably doesn't even need it. He might have a Miles Sanders like rise. So I'm just kind of projecting him to have that. That's why I have the 2nd-round grade on him. Then I got Najee Harris out of Alabama. Yeah, I moved him down a little bit, and it's because he's a little slow. He's got below average speed. and you really won't see him bust off for like 40-yard gains, but he is still very consistent. 22.7% of his gains went for 10 yards or more. He's just a force downhill, and despite his physical like running style, he's actually pretty explosive. He can cut on a dime, and his receiving prowess for a back that big is extraordinary. Like on receptions, he had 11 broken tackles. He had 7 receiving touchdowns. Like, he is definitely one of the more intriguing prospects in this draft, being a power back with a very, very good receiving upside. So I might move him up. I think for now he's definitely a day 2 pick without question. And then Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. He's actually not even going to play this year. He transferred from Oklahoma and to Ohio State, who won't even have a season. So tough luck. He's kind of, I liked him last year a little bit, but I kind of moved him all over the place because of the presence of, they just kept feeding Kennedy Brooks the ball, and it was just confusing to me because I thought Sermon was the better back. That's why I have him rated this high, or ranked this high. And he's kind of like Beastquake light, you know, Marshawn light. In terms of his running style, he's slippery, he just kind of shrugs off contact, but he does lack explosion. He doesn't have breakaway speed, but his broken tackle rate over his career is just very absurd. This guy breaks tackles like nobody's business. Doesn't really have a pass catching upside. However, he does have that elusiveness, being able to shrug off contact, and just everything he does well typically translates pretty well to the NFL. So he should find a home somewhere in some backfield, probably by committee. Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis, here at 6 for me. He boasts some pretty good speed, but being a smaller back, you probably expect a little bit more. He's still young though. He could put a little more mass on his frame, but he's explosive both as a runner and a receiver. Actually, last season, 37 of his touches went for 15 plus yards or more. 15 yards or more. There we go. But still, I would like to see him put on a little more weight, but I mean, he's a great pass blocker as well, so his ability to stay on the field as a pass blocker, it's very appealing. And then I got Lynn J Dixon, dude. I love this guy. If you saw my underrated NFL draft prospects, then you know that's what you already know him. He's had to sit behind Travis Etienne for the last 2 years. He's gonna have to do it again this year. But the guy is just deadly when given the opportunity. He has game-breaking ability. He averages 7.1 yards per carry, and that's over his career. He is very willing as a pass blocker. I would like to see him, though, used more as a receiver in the pass game. But again, this is kind of a projection on my part. But honestly, I full-heartedly believe he could be a starter wherever you want to go in the Power 5. The guy is that good in my opinion. And then we got Zamir White out of Georgia. Now, this is another projection on my part because we've only seen a small sample size, and in my opinion, it hasn't been it's not a great sample size. In terms of what we've just seen, he's a former 5-star recruit. He's very athletic. He's big. He's got speed. But I just haven't been impressed with the reps he's put on tape. He doesn't seem very dynamic as a runner, which is kind of par for the course for the last couple of drafts for Georgia running backs. And he doesn't really shake off contact. Again, I only have him this high because it's a bit of a projection, because he does have the ability. He has the upside, and if he puts on a banger of a year, honestly, probably could be a top 50 pick. And then Max Borge out of Washington State. I'm going to say it. Not all white running backs are Christian McCaffrey. Get that through your head. But I mean, this guy, he honestly, I don't think he's going to stick as a running back. He's probably going to end up being a slot receiver. Just based on, I mean, it's based on, like, he was so used in the passing game when for Mike Leach's offense. And I'm pretty confident he was going to operate in the slot for who's our coach there? Rolovic? Yeah, Rolovic, because they run this kind of like shooting gun or running gun type of offense. So I think he was going to be used probably more as a pass catcher. He's got pretty good speed. He can cut on a dime, and just he's kind of like cut and go type of runner. But he had like 28 broken tackles on receptions. He's a very interesting prospect, but I think it's in his best interest to move to slot. And the final guy I got on this list is Demetric Felton out of UCLA. Unfortunately, he will not have the season because the Pac-12 postponed it, and it's kind of rough. So I guess he's a bit of a projection, but what we do know is because he would have got an uptick this season with Josh Kelly gone, and we just won't see it. But what we do know is he was used a lot in the slot. He's a fabulous route runner, very good. He's actually got some really good return skills. He averaged 10 yards after the catch. So if anything, we know he is a very good pass catching running back. So I mean, without a season for him, it's he's kind of a scat back at best, but he's probably one of the better scat backs in this draft based on his 2019 tape. But if you want to see the rest of the list, go ahead to Fan to Fan Network, follow the link in the description below. And that's it for the video. Go ahead, do that whole YouTube thing, thumbs up, subscribe. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.